A $12 billion industry, built on the backs of two people who never saw a single cent. 1853. Moon's Lake House, Saratoga Springs, New York. George Crum and his sister Catherine were doing what they did best, cooking for wealthy customers who traveled from Manhattan for their food. George was Native American and African American, a former Adirondack guide turned renowned chef. Catherine worked alongside him in the kitchen. Together, they were about to accidentally invent America's most addictive snack and watch the world profit from it while they got nothing. Here's what happened. According to historical records from Moon's Lake House, a picky customer kept sending back his French fries. Too thick, not crispy enough. After the third time, George had enough. In pure frustration, he grabbed a knife, sliced potatoes paper-thin, impossibly thin, fried them until they shattered like glass, and dumped salt all over them just to spite the customer. The customer loved them. Within weeks, Saratoga Chips became the restaurant's signature dish. Wealthy tourists from New York City would travel hours just to taste them. By 1860, George opened his own restaurant, Crum's Place, in Malta, New York. According to newspaper archives from that era, millionaires like Cornelius Vanderbilt and railroad magnate Jay Gould would wait in line for hours. Every table got a basket of chips. George became one of America's first celebrity chefs. But here's Catherine's story, documented in the Saratogian newspaper. She claimed the invention happened differently, that she accidentally dropped a thin potato slice into hot oil while making donuts, fished it out, and George tasted it. Her grandson later gave interviews insisting she was the true inventor. When Catherine Wicks died in 1924 at age 102, her obituary explicitly stated, "She first invented and fried the famous Saratoga chips." Neither George nor Catherine ever patented their invention. They had no concept of what they'd created, no understanding that this accidental snack would become a global empire. George died in 1914 at age 90. Catherine died 10 years later. Both died having seen none of the massive profits their creation would generate. According to current market analysis, the U.S. potato chip industry is now worth over $12 billion annually. That's billion with a B. Americans consume approximately 1.6 billion pounds of potato chips every single year. Companies like Frito-Lay, which generates over $3.6 billion in sales annually just from potato chips, built entire empires on what George and Catherine created in that Saratoga Springs kitchen. By the 1920s, traveling salesman Herman Lay started mass-producing and distributing potato chips across the country. Lay's became the first nationally marketed brand in 1932. The chip revolution George and Catherine sparked had exploded, but their names were already being forgotten. Today, nearly 285 million Americans eat potato chips regularly. The global potato chip market is projected to reach $76 billion by 2030. Every bag of chips, every flavor innovation, every Super Bowl party where Americans consume over 11 million pounds of chips in a single day, all traces back to a frustrated chef and his sister in 1853 who never understood the value of what they'd stumbled upon. They revolutionized snacking. They created an industry that would feed millions and make billionaires. And they died without seeing a penny of it. Every time you tear open a bag of chips, you're participating in a $12 billion industry built on the uncompensated genius of George Crum and Catherine Wicks, two people who changed food history and got absolutely nothing in return. What other inventors got robbed by history? Drop their names in the comments. If this made you see that bag of chips differently, share this with someone who needs to know the real story. And follow for more untold stories about the people who invented the world we live in and never got paid for it.